to another monthly wrap up. This one is for April. I can't believe we're in May already. Okay, so for April I was a little bit disappointed with the things that I read. Not necessarily the content of things that I read, but the amount that I read. I kind of had more on my list, but it's just April was a really busy month for me. So I decided not to beat myself up too much about it, and I wasn't going to make the wrap up video, but then there's two books that I really wanted to talk about, and I thought this was kind of the perfect place to talk about them and discuss them and stuff. So I thought, you know what, I will make the wrap up and I'll talk about the two books that I really loved and the other ones that I read as well. Okay, so in April I read 4 books, and a half. The first 4, and then this bottom one is the one I only read half of. So yes, let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first book I read, I absolutely loved. It's definitely one of my favourite books that I've read this year. I haven't really heard many other people talk about it much, and the people I have heard talk about it, I haven't heard them absolutely love it, but for me personally, I loved it. And it is Monument 14. I give this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was just so much fun, and I don't know, it was really great. And basically, these kids are on the bus to school, and you know, there's this big massive hailstorm and things kind of start going weird in the world, and they take shelter in this supermarket, like superstore, and that's kind of all you really need to know. But the great thing about this book is it wasn't just kind of one year of kids, you know, it was like a range of children who were on the bus, like from all different ages. So the 14 children inside the supermarket aren't like all the same age, they don't all know each other very well, so as you're getting to know them in the book, they're also getting to know each other. Like I said, I read this right at the beginning of the month, so I actually can't remember the main character's name, which is bad because I really enjoyed this. Let's see. No, I don't know. But like I say, it's written in first person, so as the main character is getting to know all these other characters, you're getting to know them as well, so that was a lot of fun. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I liked the fact that the way they use the resources in the supermarket. I liked that when I put this book down, which I read this book pretty quick, so I didn't really put it down you know, many times, but when I did put it down, I kind of felt like I had left them in the supermarket and I needed to get back to the book so they could just carry on because they were just stuck in the supermarket. I don't know, it was so good though. I really enjoyed it. There's 3 books in this series. The next one is called Sky is on Fire, and I cannot wait to read that book as well, because this one kind of sets up for the next book, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where they go with it and all stuff like that. But yeah, if you haven't read this book, I definitely recommend it. It's kind of like, you know, I can never say that word ever, an apocalyptic end of world type of book, but I feel like it's got a different little spin on it. But yeah, personally, I enjoyed this book a lot. It wasn't the most action-packed book for the theme of the book that it is, but I kind of just enjoyed that. I just liked going about their days and figuring out what they're going to do, and I don't know, I just found it really interesting. I really liked the character development. I just really, like I say, I enjoyed this one a lot, and I would recommend this one to everybody. Like I say, I get 4.5 stars, had such a good time with it, and I think it's one that I would reread as well in the future. So yes, Monument 14. Who was that by? Emmy Laybourne. So yeah. The next one I read I didn't enjoy quite as much, and it is I Tell You I Love You, But Then I'd Have to Kill You, and it's by Ali Carter, and this is the first book in the Gallagher Girls series, and I've heard a lot of people really enjoy this. I enjoyed it, it was fun, but I feel like after reading the book that I just read that I really enjoyed and I was so excited about, this one just kind of, I don't know, it didn't make as high as that one was, which is fair enough. You can't absolutely love every book. But I still enjoyed it and had a fun time with it, so I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. There was points when I thought, oh, maybe I'll give this 3, but then it really kind of, I was like, well, no, that's a bit harsh, because it always kept my attention. It was kind of went on these twists and turns, and I had a fun time with it. And I feel like, you know, I had enjoyed it. It's just I really enjoyed the book I read just before. I don't know if anybody else does that. And then this one, I don't know, it just wasn't as exciting for me, but I still had a great time with it, enjoyed it. It's about this girl who goes to this elite spy school, and they're all very smart and clever, and she meets, see, the problem was for me, I think, she meets this boy who isn't, well, it's an all-girls school, so obviously he's not from the school, and he doesn't know about her, like, background and where she's from and stuff. And the romance was just a bit here or there for me, but all the other stuff, the spy stuff, I really enjoyed. Now this is a 5-book series, I believe. I I would probably read the second one, and if I enjoy the second one the same, I'll probably carry on. But if the second one I just kind of feel a bit meh about, I probably won't. But it's not something I'm going to rush to pick up, you know, soon. I definitely pick up the others in the Monument 14 series first, but yeah, I would read the next ones. I just didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. Okay, next one I also really enjoyed, and that is Pivot Point by Casey West. I really enjoyed this book. I was hoping that I would, because I really liked the premise. Basically, she has this power where she can kind of search, is what they call it in the book, to kind of see one future or the alternative future. Like, you know, she can see two options of what she can take, and that's like her special ability in this place where they live. And I don't know, I was not expecting the story to go the way it did. They took a really unique, they did it in a really unique way, basically, to show this ability. And I don't really want to give much away. It's really difficult because, like I said, I went into this not knowing much, knowing pretty much just that, and it really surprised me, and it kind of was a little bit more heavily romance than I expected it to be, but I didn't mind it. I really kind of enjoyed the romance that was in the book as well, but it also didn't take away from the, you know, I guess, supernatural elements of it, but I feel like that wasn't as focused on. But then it kind of, when it wrapped up, it was clever. It was really, really clever how it was done, and I really enjoyed, like, putting things together. Again, you know, it's difficult to say things without giving it away. So anyway, I ended up giving this 4.5 stars because I just loved it. At the end, I was like, wow, yeah, I really just had a fun time with it. There's a second book to this, and it's called Split Second because it's duology, and I will definitely be picking up the second book. I'll be really interested to see where it goes. And as well, I feel like at the end, I felt the way that the main character felt. You know, there was many times when I felt the way the main character felt, and there was times when I didn't know which I would choose or what I would do, or, you know, in her situation I didn't know what path I would take, and I really liked that I could relate to her in that way. Or it's not even relating to her, it's just I could put myself in her shoes and still kind of feel the same that she was feeling in the book, which I think was really great. The writing was great in this one. I definitely recommend it. I really enjoyed it, but again, I don't want to give too much away, but yes, definitely check out Pivot Point. The next one that I read, I'm not going to talk too much about because I will be doing a book review this coming week, and I'll also be hopefully participating in a live show, not next weekend but the weekend after. So yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one, but it is The Familiars by, oh my gosh, Adam J. Epstein and Andrew Jacobson. So basically I read this book for a book club, hosted by Act Out Games, whose channel I'll link down below, and I had heard only, well, basically I'd only heard Act Out Games Presley talk about this book, and never heard anybody else talk about it, and I was just like, oh, okay, it's a middle grade fantasy magic animal book, so I was like, okay, you know. And then when it came about for the book club, this is the first book that they're doing in the book club, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'll totally join the book club and I'll read that book, but I kind of didn't really know what to expect. But I ended up really, really enjoying this. It was just so much fun. Such a fast-paced action-adventure book. I think if you enjoy, like, Percy Jackson, I say that because even though Percy Jackson's not, like, magical in that way, I feel like the pacing was kind of similar. It kind of, for me, had that vibe of all these different things going on, and that's what I really enjoy about those books, and I found that the similar kind of pacing in this book, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed it, but again, I will be talking about it very soon. So yeah, The Familiars, I'm really glad that I read that for the book club. I don't know if I would have picked it up otherwise, but I know there's other books in the series. I think there's 4 out right now, including that one, and I will definitely be picking up the next books. I'm really looking forward to those. So yes, and the book that I read half of was Take Me There by Carolee Dean. This book I'm not enjoying. It's just, I don't know, I feel like compared to the books that I read this month, they were all kind of felt really fast paced and exciting. This one's just a bit It's about this guy who has been to juvie, and he's now trying to get himself kind of on the straight and narrow, and his dad is in prison and he wants to go and see his dad in Texas. And it's a really interesting story. It's told kind of from a few different time slots. I can't really explain that. Basically, you know, it goes back and forth in time, and maybe that's where I'm getting a bit thrown off. But yes, I do want to finish this at the beginning of this next week, because I need to get this finished so I can kind of move on with you know, getting my books read that I wanted to read in May, which some have followed on from April, because I didn't get them read. But anyway, yeah, so Take Me There, I'm enjoying. I think it'll probably be, to be fair, I've actually been really enjoying it, but it's just not one that I'm wanting to pick up all over again, so I don't really know what to give it. I think I would probably end up giving this 3 or 3.5. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these books that I read in April. Let me know the favourite books that you read in April. My favourite this month was Monument 14. I just really enjoyed it. And yeah, so until then guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Fingers crossed I will have a bit of a better reading month in May. I definitely haven't got as busy of a month, so fingers crossed. And until then, I will see you next time. Goodbye!